Telephone rang, and I picked it up, and it's that Jones boy, Bobby Mackey from down Cincinnati, Wilder, Kentucky, my friend, my best friend for many, many years. I'm going to put him on the old telephone. He's the guy that wrote the song, that Jones boy, Bobby Mackey, plus a lot of other songs. Hero Daddy, so many great songs, Bobby. Are you kidding me? And Bobby Mackey, the great George Strait song, The King of the Mountain, he recorded it first. I'll ask him about that. In fact, I've got him on the telephone. Let's see if I can get him here. I get things. We've got a new board here now, and I got to watch myself. Let's see. Bobby Mackey, have I got you?
I hear you.
Yep, I've got you, buddy.
All right. Chubby Howard, how in the world are you doing?
I'm fine, son. What about you?
I'm doing good. Yesterday was a sad day, and it's going to be hard to get over that. We're going to miss old George, ain't we?
I know we're going to, and he was a friend of yours. You had him at your place, didn't you?
Yeah, in 1980, I had George in the club, and he'd been sick and had been in the hospital in Florence, Alabama, and Gary and Don Adams was with him at the time.
Yeah.
And they called me. George just got out of the hospital and needed to work right quick. So they called me and asked if I'd put him in there, and if it was on a Saturday, they called me, and I booked him the next Saturday. In a week's notice, I booked him. We sold out 2 shows. And it was great. And you know, growing up, I'd watch George on Porter Wagner show on Saturday afternoon or something. I'd grab my old Roy Rogers guitar, and after George would sing, I'd go out back of the house, and man, I'd work on the song I'd just heard him sing, all I could remember of it, and I'd sing it over and over. And you know, by booking George, it was the business of it up front that had my mind. You know, making sure it worked, making sure we got the advertisement out, and make sure we had a crowd. But when the night of the show and when George was actually introduced to my stage is when it really hit me that, wow, George Jones is on my stage. Wow.
Is that something?
That was great.
Okay. You followed George Jones like me for years, and you liked his songs, you liked his music. Okay, Did this pop in your head something about that Jones boy?
Well, yeah, and I'll tell you what did it. I had the CD of the last CD that George and Merle did together.
Yeah,
and it was laying here on my desk, and I saw that, and you know, George's whole life just came before me there, and I knew, you know, he's getting up in years, and, you know, man, when that Jones boy's gone, who's going to fill his shoes? You know, and it wrote itself. I wrote it in 30 minutes.
And you wrote, it's done good. We've played it a lot. And are you working on a new CD, and it'll be on it or not?
Yes, it will. And gee, you know, I'm embarrassed. Really, it's taken so long. It's so hard for me to get the time to work on it, and it's taken so long. And I've talked to you about it for a long time, and it's all songs that I wrote, and I'm real happy with that because I never did do a CD with all songs I wrote before. But I'm going to get on it, and hopefully this summer I'll have it.
Well, you get on it there, and you wrote another song, too, about a great star. I think you'll probably record about Merle Haggard.
Yeah, I'm real happy with that one. I'm going to write a song about Haggard is the title.
Hey, buddy.
Because he wrote a lot of songs about you and me.
You better believe it, son.
And you know, I got a tweet the other day from another friend of ours, Rhonda Vincent, was listening to you streaming out there, and I got a tweet from her and said, Chubby Howard's playing our song.
Oh yeah, the great Year Bluegrass song, CD.
Ashes of Love, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that was good.
She sang with me on 3 songs on there, but she said you were playing our song, Ashes of Love.
Yeah. Guess what? I don't know. She just called me a while ago from Nashville. I had her on the air.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. She's on the Grand Ole Opry tonight.
Yeah, I saw that. I kind of keep up with her on this social media, and this Twitter thing is, you know, you can just reach out and touch everybody, you know.
You know what she told me? On the Opry tonight, she's going to do her tribute and respect to George Jones. She's going to sing When the Grass Grows Over Me tonight.
Wow.
Ain't that something?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm going to sing that tonight too.
Buddy, you know them all.
I'm going to do that one. You just reminded me of it. I sang a bunch of them last night. I didn't do that one.
Ain't that a good song? Color of the Blues is, now I'll tell you one of my favorite songs of George's. I don't know if it's ever a big hit. Here we stand in the courtroom floor, and my tears are falling on the courtroom floor. She's changing my name from brown to blue.
Wow.
You remember that one or not?
No, you got me, man. I'm unfamiliar with that one.
Oh, they're getting divorced, and they're standing in the courtroom, and he said, here I stand with my tears are falling on the floor, and she's changing my name from brown to blue.
Wow, I thought I'd heard them all. And
that's one of the greatest songs to me ever were, but it never was a big hit.
Darla, another friend of ours who works for us at the nightclub, she brought up one last night that she had said was her favorite that she stumped me too. One about Don't Tell Mama I Was Drinking.
Yeah, Mama Take Me Home's the name of it.
Yeah, okay. She mentioned that one, and
I played it today, and it's unbelievable.
Yeah, that's another one. I don't know how that got by.
He also recorded, the Grascals recorded, and he's in it with them.
Yeah, she mentioned the Grascals that cut it.
But boy, listen, man, I tell you what, he could put a tear in your eye. Well, he had that tear in his voice, a different singing voice, George Jones.
Yeah, I was in Nashville a few years back, and I was in a restaurant, and George and some people come in, and as I was leaving, I won't bother anybody in a restaurant like that. I wouldn't bother him. As I was leaving, we made eye contact, and he waved, and I waved at him, and went on outside, and I had a flat tire in the parking lot, and so proceeded to try to change the tire. Meanwhile, George and his people came out, and he left them and took the long way toward his car and came by where we were, and I want to know if there's anything to do to help.
That's George.
He come walking up and said, "Golly, you got some bad luck here." But I talked to him and he said, "How's everything in Wilder?"
Yeah, how about that?
Everything's great, George.
Hey, speaking of Wilder, you're there tonight, and you got a special guest with you tonight.
Yes, I do. None other than your son,
Tony. Oh man,
Tony.
I'm so glad you could use him. He loves to come down there.
Oh no, he does. And we have so much fun.
He's like me. He loves you. And just like me, we've been friends for years, and he loves the band, the Big Mac Band, and you've got one of the top bands in our country.
Oh, I'm proud of them, you know, and when I get musicians, I like to keep them, you know.
Oh, you have for a long time. You got as good a steel player anywhere. Chuck Rich, my friend, I just think the world of that man. And you've got a great band. Ernie Vaughn and the drummer, gee whiz, and what's his name on the lead guitar?
Sammy Goodlander.
Sammy Goodlander. Oh, he's a jewel. Bless his heart.
He fits in with us so well. It took a little while for him to get in the groove that we were in, but he's nailed it. He has got it. Man, he's great.
Well, he's got the talent on that guitar, man.
Oh yeah.
Boy, I tell you, what a great surprise for you to call me. You know, you're welcome to call me anytime. And I love to sit in with you when I got the opportunity because you're countrified.
We'll have you back when Chuck goes out of town this summer.
Yeah,
you're going to be down there.
Boy, I tell you, what a good surprise today, my friend. Okay,
good,
right, real quick. King of the Mountain. You recorded that actually before George.
Yeah, I did. And,
before George Strait.
And I think they used my cut of it for in the studio for a demo because it's almost the same arrangement.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and I cut it probably a year before he did.
No kidding.
Uh-huh.
In Nashville?
Yeah, and by the way, the demo I learned it off of was George Jones, and I don't think he ever released it.
No kidding.
He did the demo, or he had sung it, and when I first heard it, it was George singing it, but it had never been released, and that's why I cut it. And then George Strait covered me on it.
They tell me that George Strait really didn't want to record it, and they talked him into it.
Yeah, I'd heard something about that.
Yeah, about that story. Yeah.
And I'll tell you another story. When I was getting ready to record, and I wanted to do little little bitty teeny weeny thing called the Love Bug.
Yeah.
I wanted to cut that. It was, it'd been a long time since George had hit on it. Nobody else had ever done it. And so I wanted to do that, and the guy that was producing me talked me out of it. And I'm quite sure at the same time he was putting it in the hands of George Strait's producer.
Oh, yeah, okay. George Strait did a good job on it.
Yeah, he did. It was a great version of it.
Well, everything he's done is done good. You probably know that this is his last year on the road. He's going to retire, George Strait.
Yeah. He's on. I've seen where they're really pushing this record he's got out to go to number one. That'll make 60 for 60. He's 60 years old, and this will make his 60th number one record.
Oh, gee. Hey,
another
thanks
song, okay, Chubby, one more thing. Another song I missed out on, I had cut the demo on Holding a Good Hand that Lee Greenwood come out with.
Yeah. And
the same thing happened to me.
I'll be dog. Well, you're still today a good singer, and you're a good man, and you've had your show place now. How long? How many years now?
Coming up on 35 years, Joe.
Oh my goodness, bless your heart.
You and I met at the Apple.
Yeah.
As soon as you come to town from Seattle, guess what?
Yeah, I was down visiting, and that was you had Wayne Hobbs, I believe, with you.
Yeah.
Sure did.
We were playing. I was at the Apple, and it was a jam station. I think on a Sunday, I believe.
Yeah.
You come down with Steve Lake.
Yep.
I remember so well.
I'm glad I did.
Friends. We've been friends ever since, and I appreciate you, Chubby.
I appreciate you, and thanks for calling, buddy, and pick good tonight.
Thank you.
All right, thanks. Thanks for using Tony.
Oh, yeah, I'm looking forward to tonight.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
All right. Thanks, brother. Bobby Mackey, folks. Got that Wilder, Kentucky big band down there in Wilder, Kentucky every Friday and Saturday night, and believe you me, if you want to hear country and a good band, you go there. All right. Thanks, Bobby Mackey. Good man right there. He's done a lot for country music and still does. 24 minutes have passed the hour of 2. He's a guy that wrote and recorded that Jones Boy. It'll be out this summer.